Well, the elections are over. And so from a legislative perspective, everybody in Texas is now looking forward to the legislative session, which begins next January. And last year, the Texas Legislature passed what some legislators call the first parental choice education bill in the Texas history, and Governor Abbott signed it into law. That bill was a bill that would change the law to allow homeschool students to participate in extracurricular activities in the school district in which they lived. That is a bill that we worked on for over 20 years. And we are seeing school districts now adopt that. So this bill actually allowed this to happen if the school district voted to allow that to happen. So this is a bill that gives the school districts the final authority on that measure. So we have about 1,200 school districts in Texas, and in the year that legislation has been in place, 39 school districts in Texas have voted to make that happen. And the interesting thing is the University Interscholastic League had to change the rules to allow that to happen. And they did. But here's the interesting thing. The first, to say that they were opposed to that legislation is an understatement. UIL is made up of the superintendents of all the school districts in Texas. And to implement that bill, they changed their rules to allow it to happen. But here's the interesting thing they did. They initially passed a rule to say that any school district that voted to allow homeschoolers to participate would have to increase their student population according to what UIL estimated were the number of homeschoolers in their district. And they argued that some of these school districts might have to go up to a higher level to participate in UIL activities. Well, this is simply a veiled threat. It was an attempt to intimidate school districts to not vote to allow homeschoolers to participate. Interestingly, the Texas Education, or the Commissioner of Education in Texas, vetoed that rule. And he did so because it clearly undermined the clear intent of the legislation to allow homeschoolers to participate. So it is interesting today that we continue to see this as an issue, and that is, I think, reflective of the kind of situation we will see in the upcoming legislative session, as there continues to be a strong bipartisan support for parental choice in education across every demographic in Texas. The issue is, will that actually be happening in the legislature? When we passed this bill in the Texas House last session, half of the Republicans voted against the bill. Half of the Democrats voted for it. And in the Senate, it was virtually the same. So the issue for us today is, homeschoolers, we've always said we believe that parents have a God-given right to direct the care, control, and upbringing of their children, including their education. And we believe we should enhance that authority and give parents more choices when it comes to their education. Whether or not the legislature does that remains to be seen. But we are seeing the issue of whether or not homeschoolers should be allowed to participate in extracurricular activities in the public schools to be a local school board election. More and more parents are becoming involved in these school board elections, and that is one of those issues. So we'll continue to follow that. We may address this issue in the upcoming legislative session. It will certainly be continue to be addressed in local school board races, and we'll keep you informed about those things. So click on the links below for more information. Share this video with your friends, like it, subscribe to our channel, and thank you for helping us keep Texas families free.